Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Sakshi from Minglam's marketing team, and we'll be presenting a webinar today on how to decode Amazon settlement reports and save money. Before we begin, I would like to tell you that you can follow this event on LinkedIn and Twitter using hashtag SellAnywhereFaster. All slides and recording of the session will be made available to all the webinar registrants. Also, during the webinar, you will see few poll questions that you can answer so that we can have a better understanding of your thoughts. Our speaker for today is Mr. Sumit Karanji, who is among industry's top payment reconciliation experts and a global sales evangelist at Vinculum. Sumit will walk you through how to decode Amazon settlement report and help you save precious bucks. Over to you, Sumit.
Hey, thanks, Sakshi, and welcome to all the participants. This is the first time that we have been thinking of doing this since a long time. Since Amazon is one of the finest marketplace in India, and a lot of sellers are already doing business with Amazon. Over the past 3 years, we have seen that there are a lot of business that is happening on Amazon, lot of orders, returns, payments, and a lot of sellers whom I meet are struggling to just understand how this payment and payment settlements at Amazon works. So I thought, why not do a webinar on this? And we came up with this idea of decoding the Amazon settlement sheet. Most of you might be doing business on Amazon and frequently may be getting the payment settlement reports. However, if you understand the Indian marketplace, there are a lot of complexities revolving around order IDs, the payments, what is credited, what is debited. So I thought I'll just walk you through some of the settlement reports in order to understand. And also, in case if you need to do a manual reconciliation, there are ways how to do that. There are tools inside Amazon Seller Central itself which will help you to do the reconciliation at least on a high level. So taking you further, in terms of payment settlement, there are two types of transactions. One which is the cash on delivery, and other which is the electronic transaction, which is basically the prepaid settlements. If you see the Amazon Seller Central payments sheet, you will find three tabs there. One where which shows you the entire statements, one which shows you the transaction level details, and one which is called the all statement where you can view all your transactions and statement in a single screen. However, it is very important to understand what kind of charges are being deducted, whether the charges that have been deducted are correct or incorrect, and first, whether you understand what these charges mean. So if coming to the statement view, this is how your typical Amazon Seller Central payment screen will look like. On the top, you will find four tabs. One which shows you the statement, another one transaction, third one is the all statements. So I've taken a sample statement view where you can see certain indicators like beginning balance, the orders, where the charges in terms of what are the product charges, what are the rebates that you have got, what are the fees that Amazon has taken from you, the TCS, which is the tax collected at source that the marketplaces deduct whenever they settle any payments, and then there are other charges such as postage and gift wrap. If you see on the refund side, refund basically happens whenever a customer returns the product which has been received by them, or maybe returned by the courier in case of non-availability of any address or so on and so forth. So there are various charges which are related to refunds. So on the statement you will find the high level sum of all the charges, the rebates, the fees that Amazon takes even during refunds, and the TCS charges as well. Going below, if you see the Amazon Easy Ship charges for all sellers who do business on the Easy Ship mode, the fees that Amazon takes is shown here. This obviously does not show you an order level or a line item level charges. It just gives you a high level transaction view of in a statement kind of scenario. Hence, it also includes the cost of advertising, and the closing balance. Don't worry, we will understand each one of these in detail as we go forward. You are free to put any questions in the Q&A. Coming to the transaction view, this is how the transaction looks like. If you see in the current reserve amount in the first row, there is a amount which is held back by the Amazon marketplace. We will also know in the further slides what this amount means. Basically, the amount is split into the payments where you have fulfilled a particular order which you have received. It also shows you the total product charges. In this case, on 26th of August, the charges were 360 rupees and Amazon fees was 180 rupees. But just by knowing this one line item, you would not know whether you are earning anything or you are losing anything. So these are the questions you should always keep in mind. As we go forward, we can take it up. The third charges that you can see on the screen is the easy ship charges, where it is linked to an order ID. The details in the product are shown there. Another type of charge that you will see is the service fees, where it is not linked to an order ID and hence it is a cost of advertising in this particular screen. So this is on a transaction level. Amazon would show you what is it that they have deducted, what is it that they have paid, and are there any other charges which is not linked to any order. In the all statements view, you will find the settlement period between which you might have done some shipping of the products. It will show you a high level detail of a particular settlement period. It will show you what is it that you had shipped, what are the charges that were deducted, what was the total settlement amount into your bank. You can download this in terms of a flat file, which you can easily open into an Excel. Now, what do you do of this? You must be receiving all these payments maybe a couple of days or every 5 days or every 7 days. Even if you download this, how does it look? What do you do of it? All these questions are really very, very important to understand. So we'll take it forward. So these are the common type of fees. One, which are linked to an orders, and others which are not linked to an order. The common type of fees in the order linked kind of scenario are the referral fees. So referral fees or the listing fees is the charge or the fees that Amazon takes because it allows you to list your product onto its marketplace or onto its platform. In common language, we can say that it is a commission. Second is the closing fees. Although all of us who have been sellers on Amazon have been paying to Amazon closing fees, but very few of us know what it actually means. Closing fees means the charges that is levied onto the customer for using the payment gateway. In case of a cash on delivery collection scenario, there are charges which the courier company bears while doing all these activities. So for a seller, it is levied to them in terms of a closing fees. The weight handling fees. It basically means the shipping fees for shipping the product from the seller's warehouse or from FBA warehouse to the customer's home. So shipping, logistic, courier or postage, all these things mean the same in terms of weight handling fees. In case some of you may do business directly on the fulfillment by Amazon method, then the activity of picking and packing the product as soon as the order arrives is done by the staff at the warehouse of Amazon. They lay a fees which is called pick and pack fees for every unit that is sold through their platform, which depends on the category of the product that you sell. Essentially, there are three categories or probably four categories of a product which you list on Amazon, which starts from small, standard, oversized, and bulky. Pick and pack fees also varies on each of these classification. There are complex scenarios where if your item or the product that you sell comes under a small scenario and its selling price is greater than 20,000 rupees, then the pick and pack fees are waived off. That means you are not levied any pick and pack fees. These are the policies of Amazon. It is a different question whether you check the payment file and actually see if those pick and pack fees are really waived off, or has it still been levied to you by any glitch. In terms of the flex method of doing business, there is a technology fee that Amazon Flex charges you, which is also on per unit level. One of the charges, which is the common type, is called as refund holdback, which means that if you have shipped a product to a customer and customer has returned it due to any XYZ reasons, Amazon withholds 20% of the commission or rupees 300, whichever is higher or whichever is lower. In terms of, let's say you have a multi quantity item, let's say you have shipped 5 products out of which only one has been returned back. In such a case, Amazon calculates 20% of the commission or rupees 5, which is the cap there on a single line item. However, if you see on an order ID level, it calculates 20% of the commission or rupees 300, whichever is lower. I know all of it may sound very complex to you already, but that's why we are here for, to make you understand how we can decode this on a level where you can easily view what are the various charges and what are the exact amount of money that you have earned. One of the important fees or a chargeback, which is called as chargeback refund, is when a customer has paid to you for an order through a credit card, but later on realizes that the credit card was accidentally swiped or that they have not swiped the credit card at all. In such a case, Amazon then again charges back the same amount which has been credited to your seller account and refunds it back to the customer based on the credit card claims that a customer says. So let's say if I have bought something today, but I have just added it onto my cart and not really paid for it, accidentally my credit card is being charged for it, I can raise a claim to my credit card company and they can again go back to Amazon and say that it was accidentally swiped or whether it was not swiped at all. In such a case, the seller is again debited of the money that Amazon would have paid. Now, although all of us are very, very keen on understanding what are the order related charges, but if you really want to understand the line item level profitability or the product level profitability, you need to understand that there are other type of charges as well, which are not order linked. For example, if you're shipping your products to the Amazon warehouses, since you would have a lot of products that would be uh, sent to the Amazon warehouses through the consignment, some of it may sell, some of it may not sell, and it might just lie down there for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or greater than that. All these products which are lying down at the warehouse take up the warehouse space of Amazon, and hence Amazon charges you a fees which is called as the long term storage fees, which is nothing but just an aging stock which is just sitting there and not getting sold. If you do not put an auto removal for such kind of products, you would still end up paying a hell lot of fees. And I am sure if you guys are into the business of white goods like TV, fridge, washing machine, then the long term storage fees is huge, which you must keep an eye on. One of the very common type of fees, which is not actually a fees, it's an amount, which is called as a reserve amount. The reserve amount is nothing but a amount or a portion of the fees or portion of the payments that has been credited to you, but Amazon keeps it on hold with their, because they do not know the sales velocity, how fast you will be driving sales in the next 2 months, 3 months, or in every payment cycle. Let's say I'm a new seller, and if I start selling thousands of pieces of my products in the first week itself, Amazon would not know how much of it would be refunded back, how many claims would be there from the customer. So it withholds a portion of your fees every week just to take care of the claims, just to take care of the refunds. And as and when your business grows, it also keeps on releasing the previously held fees, and again on the new sales cycle it keeps a portion of the fees with itself. Hence you would see on your opening statement there is always a previous reserve balance amount, which would be always showing in the statement. Advertisement fees, it's a no brainer. The cost of advertising on Amazon, it is not order linked, it will show you. But if you really want to see the profitability of a business, you need to have these fees accounted into your accounting software. There is this particular fees which is called as the balance adjustment. A lot of time Amazon may have paid you more or may have paid you in certain scenarios, but when it reconciles its accounts internally, it finds that instead of paying you an X amount, it has paid you an X plus delta. So all of this amount, which is a delta, is taken back as a clawback by the seller and by the marketplace, which is called as the balance adjustment. Same thing, a lot of times you would see on your payment files, there is something called as the non-subscription adjustment fees, which essentially means that after a long period of time, if Amazon realizes that it has to reimburse you for certain items, let's say it which falls under an auto reimbursement category, but has not paid you then, but supposed to pay you today, then they settle all these adjustments in the form of non-subscription adjustment fees. So now you must be wondering that it is not as easy or as simple as you thought it would be. Let's go further. So how can you manually decode the Amazon payment file? Now for all of those who are well versed with Amazon Seller Central, there is this simple tool that they have given to you. If you go to the reports section, in it, if you click on the payments tab, you will find a tab known as past settlements. You just click the download flat file V2 button, which is essentially a payment file for a particular settlement period that I showed you a brief file before. Just for reference, I am taking you to the page where you can see where is this exactly. So let's say you have this sheet where for a particular settlement period, there is a payment file which lies down here. Just download this flat file V2 and keep it in some of your drive. I have shared a link with you, which obviously you will also get after the end of the presentation. Just open this link up. You will be guided onto this page where there is a settlement summary template. If you click on this settlement summary template, just save it in some of your hard drive, and I'll show it to you how you can use this template to manually reconcile your accounts. So when you open up this settlement summary template given to you by Amazon, you will find two sheets inside it. One is the settlement data, which in this case is empty. And second is the sheet, which is called the summary report, where the entire orders will be broken down into various kinds of heads and charges for you to easily understand. What you essentially need to do as a seller, go on to the settlement data, just keep it blank there. Just download the payment file from your tab, which will look something like this. As you can all see, this is the settlement and the payment file of Amazon, which is very, very difficult to understand. From here, you would not know how many orders have you done in the past week, what was the selling price, what are the various charges that have been deducted. All you need to do is just click on the top left hand corner, copy this entire data, Go on to the settlement summary sheet, click on cell A1 and just paste it. So now your entire payment file has been pasted onto the settlement summary sheet, which I have recently shown you how to download from and where to download from. How does it help you? So as soon as you paste this entire data on this sheet, you just have to click on the summary report. Go there, click refresh, and there you see all your payment files will be shown here on an order ID level, which is basically a line item level. A lot of you who may be early sellers would not know what exactly this means. I'll help you to decode it as long as I can. So let's take a sample order ID here and try to understand what is it actually speaking to you. So here you have an order ID. Let me change it to spotlight. I can show you. So here you have an order ID. Here you have the shipment ID. Here is the transaction type. What kind of transaction has been done? In this case, it is showing you an other transaction. Here are the various type of fees. If you see on the above, commission is there, which shows you the commission on each of the order IDs, the GST on the commission, the closing fee that we spoke about a little while ago, the GST on the closing fees, the commission on the shipping, the GST on the shipping commission, the pick and pack fees, if applied, if you have done the business through FBA, again the GST components of the FBA pick and pack fees, the weight handling fees, which is essentially nothing but the shipping charges and the logistic costs, the GST on the FBA weight feed handling fees, the commission, which is basically nothing but the referral and the listing fees, the GST on that, the fixed closing fee, the technology fee that we were speaking about in terms of seller flex, so on and so forth. If you see against a single order, what are the kind of charges that was levied on the particular order ID? So in this case, in the case of refund commission, we also have an order where the part of the commission was retained by Amazon because it was a customer return order. And at the end of it, you will see a breakup of it. What is the principal amount, the shipping amount, the product tax, the shipping tax, all of this makes a selling price. So let's say if I put a total on this, it is showing me the product was 374 bucks. If you go further right, on the top you will see what was the reserve amount in the last payment cycle, which was held back by Amazon, and what is the reserve amount in the current payment cycle. So this all comes under the other transaction which are not linked to an order ID. If you see on the top, there are various charges related to the promotion, and then there comes the TCS columns where the tax collected at source values are shown. At the end, it would also show you the advertising cost. So let's say now, what is the final amount that you have got? You will see from this last column AZ. Now, if I take this particular order ID, you have received 259 rupees against a selling price of 419. Rest all of those, which is the difference, is the charges, which is plotted against this head. Now imagine these charges might change tomorrow. For the same order ID, you might get a reimbursement, you might get a clawback. Again, you have to do the same exercise and see on a daily basis what is going on at an item level or a line item level. So this tool is very efficient as far as the manual reconciliation is concerned. But if you try to decipher the same order ID from the payment file, you will never come to know what has happened. So I'm copying this order ID. I'm going on to the settlement data sheet. From here, if I find this order ID, it will be very difficult to me because it is spread across multiple lines. So the same order ID here has been spread across multiple lines here. And it is very, very difficult to see what has happened with that particular order ID. However, if you still need to know what are the charges, where is your order, where how many charges were cut, what are the heads under which this particular order ID was subjected to, all of those you can find it from this simple tool. If you really try to make a pivot yourself, it will be very cumbersome to do so. As soon as your business grows, even this tool will not be so much handy, but at least it gives you some kind of leverage on the data that you already have, where it breaks up your charges from the item price with the other transactions and onto the promotions, onto the TCS, and onto the cost of advertising. So this is a simple tool. If you're not using any software, you can break up your entire payments data into all of this and see if you're making any profits. We will also share this thing at the end of the presentation, and you can always write to us in case you need to speak with us on this. So quick poll coming up.
The question is, how are you reconciling your Amazon account right now? Option A, manually. Option B, software but not satisfied. Option C, looking for a software. So you have 10 more seconds to answer the question. Let's move.
Thank you for taking that poll. So when it comes to our WinReco platform, how we do all of this is, if you have seen that complicated file and even the tool that you need to use, in our platform, the same order ID will be showing it in the screen like you are seeing right now. This is called the master order screen, where all of the business that you have done on Amazon is split into a single line item. And the best part about this is our system fetches the payments on an hourly basis, which means if there are any changes in the payments for a particular order ID, even if it is 6 months old or 12 months old or 18 months old, it will show you the real time payment summary of that order ID today, which means you never have to VLOOK up what was there, how many payments have come, how many times has refunds been done on this particular order ID. The best thing about it is also you can see, I'll just highlight one very important thing. You can see what is the channel from where you have shipped the product, what was the product, from which warehouse has it been shipped, whether it's a return or not, what was the selling price that you had sold this product on, what was the payment that you have received for this particular product, and where is the charges. So the difference between selling price and paid, all these differences are captured here on a line item level. What is the pick and pack fees that you have been charged for? What is the closing fees? What is the commission that Amazon has levied? What was the delivery charges? What is the shipping charges? In which region has it been shipped? What kind of shipping charge has been levied to you? And finally, what is the payment which is given to you? This is a high level dashboard where you can see your day to day business right from one screen without having to do anything or downloading any other Excel file from any of the Seller Central. It is spread in a single line item. And if you want to just download this, I'll just show you how this download file looks like. So what we have basically done is we have curated this entire data and made it very simple for you to understand. So the Excel file that our system throws out will look something like this. It shows you the channel, the master order ID, the sub order ID, what was the order date, what was the product name, what was the SKU of the channel code, which is the ASIN, what was the selling price. So let's say if I talk about this, the particular selling price was 10,489 rupees. The quantity sold was one. Now, on a very simple line item level, you will be able to see what was the commission that was charged, what is the pick and pack fees, what was the shipping fees, the closing fees, if there are any other fees. On the column number V, you will see what was the collectible, which means 9,603 rupees is supposed to be received by you after Amazon settles this account. I'll just highlight it for you to understand it clearly. So when you sell a product which is worth 10,489, as per the policies, you will be receiving 9,603 rupees. Now, what our system does is, even before you ship this order, it is under the rule box that will demonstrate this 9,603 rupees, whether it has actually come to you or not. So if we go further right, this is the payment file breakup, where it will match head against head what is the actual payment that has come and whether it is okay or not. So in this case, instead of getting 9,603, you have actually got 9,514, which means there is a difference in one of the heads and it is again reimbursable to you. It also gives you other information in terms of whether it's a return, what is the name of the customer, what is the name, the city, the state, and what is the tracking number by which this order was shipped, and in which shipping zone has the Amazon deducted the money, whether it's a regional, a local, or a national. So I'm getting a few questions here. We make sure we will answer each and every question at the end of the session. So Praveen Lohia is asking us, is as per us categories in medium, is there any chance that Amazon will treat them item under large category and charge accordingly to us? So Praveen, let me tell you, in our system, we have already defined what is small, what is medium, what is standard, and what is oversized. Any of your items, if are falling under a standard category, there are 100% chances that you might be charged for a oversized or a bulky category. And that's where reconciliation is very important, where you need to know whether your item is falling under a particular category. If not, you really have to start doing that exercise right now. In the further screens, I will also show you a similar example of what you are saying, whether it really happens or not. Mr. Sumit Sani and Mr. Ashwini, yes, we'll be sending the recorded session to you and also sharing all the tips that I have shared you in this platform. So this is the master order ID screen where each time you have a transaction on Amazon, all of it, we are capturing it beautifully for you to understand. You can also use this sheet to make pivots and do business analysis. And the most important thing is it will help you to understand what is your profitability per SKU, which I'm sure you would not be able to do if you just look at the seller centrals because of the complexity of the reports that come out. What we essentially do is we just curate this entire data and put it into a single line item for you to understand. So this is the sample orders file, which is curated beautifully in a single line item level versus the files that I've showed you. If you download it directly from Excel, how difficult it is to really comprehend any kind of data from that. Going back, same way we have the master return screen, wherein you can see all the returns, what is the quantity of the return, what was the product return, why is it returned to you, and the most important thing, whether any fees has been charged by this marketplace to you or not. There are two types of returns. One is the customer return, one is the courier return. In either of the scenarios, there are various policies of Amazon where you might be financially given any penalties or any reverse shipping charges. A part of the commission may be held back by you, by the marketplace, that is Amazon. So you need to calculate exactly what has happened with that particular order ID, or whether the return has actually come back to you at all or not. If it has not come back to you, you are eligible for a reimbursement. Has that reimbursement come to you or not is the question. So I'll just show you a master return screen as well. Again, the download file is very simple to understand. You will get the entire data of your business. What is the master order ID that was returned? When was the return date? What was the name of the product? What type of the return is it? What was the reason of the return? What is the selling price at which this product was originally shipped? How many quantities were shipped? What is it that you have been paid? So if you see here, you already have got a reimbursement of 1032. Earlier, this order may be in negative, but after getting a reimbursement, it has now again come into positive. From this sheet itself, you can know easily whether you have received all the reimbursements or not. As per my knowledge, the customer damaged returns fall under reimbursement. So all you need to do is just click or make a filter of all the customer damage returns that you have got. Just check if you have got the reimbursement for all or not. If there is any column which is empty here, which means you have not been reimbursed. So essentially what it means is you do not have to really download anything or do VLOOKUPs. All you need to do is just download this file from our system and make your life easy, because eventually all of us here as a seller are here to do business and earn more revenue and do more listings and concentrate more on sourcing and increasing the catalog. In 2009, the marketplace business was started in India. It was very easy. As and when the complexity grew, it became so complicated that it is impossible for any of you to understand or to claim that you are in complete control of your business. Because if you do not know what are the charges on a line item level, on a daily level, then you probably are working just on a gut feeling. We also have this payment screen where you get to know all the payments that have come to you. You do not have to go or log on to your seller central. It is all shown here itself. So Anuja has asked us a question: where are you taking the data from to calculate how much we should be paid, from Amazon or from our inputs? So Anuja, what we have done is we have basically integrated into Amazon through the APIs. We fetch all the orders, we fetch all your returns, we have the listings, and there is a rule box inside our system which calculates how much you should be paid for if you ship any particular item. So I'll take you to the screen. So these are the charges that we capture for every ASIN that exists on Amazon. So if you see here, you see a channel code which is nothing but an ASIN. Then there you find a term which is called weight. Against it you find a value. Then you find a date, which is the applicable date, and you find an end date, which means that if there are any changes in these values or charges, it immediately captures automatically in our system, and all your orders and returns are processed against those charges itself. You basically have to do nothing. Through APIs, we capture each and every dimension and the weight and the pick and pack charges, any waivers, any commission which are applicable to your orders. So All you need to do is to log on to our system and just sit back and relax while our system does all the things. We also have one more capability, which means that if you are running a special promotion on Amazon, which is not standard, then we can give you the option of uploading the special promotions on our platform, and all your orders during the special promotion will be calculated as per the non-standard agreement. So let's say I am selling a kurti which is at 15% commission on a day-to-day basis, but during big billion days, the same kurti I have got shipping free, where Amazon will not charge me any shipping between 11th of November to 14th of November. Then what I'll do is in this system, I'll upload the ASIN and I'll do a fee waiver in this system where my system will calculate zero shipping fees between 11 to 14th. And hence you will know whether you have got the right amount as a collectible or not. Because a lot of times what we have seen is even though you have specially agreed for some pricing with Amazon, due to technical glitch or any unforeseen circumstances, they still charge you the standard agreement pricing. So all of this has to be checked. What our system does is keep on checking if there are any changes in any of the charges on a real time basis. One question from Anuja is also how to do reconciliation at SKU level, as one order might have multiple SKUs, and that's where our cost is. So what happens is basically, Anuja, we give you a line item file for all of your SKUs, and we also give you a column where you can put your own price against it. So let's say you have sold something at 10,000 rupees, you are expecting a 9,000 rupees for that particular line item. We will also give you a column which will be filled by you, which might be the cost of goods, which let's say for example it is 8,000 rupees. Then you can just put that 8,000 rupees into that Excel file and see if you have earned any profits there or not. Our system will show you the actual payments which has come on a line item level and on an SKU level. So all you need to do is input your cost of goods. So as a starter, what we do is whenever you enter into our system, we help you to make a product master, which will link all the SKUs on Amazon to your SKUs of your accounting system. So even though you might have multiple listings for the same name, we will map it for you and then give you a SKU level profitability. However, we can also discuss this on a phone call. Here is the sample shipping overcharge report that our system calculates. It basically has all the details of the orders where you have been charged extra. So if you see carefully on the 7th or the 8th column, there is a component called as the selling price, where this particular item was sold at 10,794 bucks. Just next to it, you will see 67.26, which is the shipping charge that the marketplace has charged you. However, just next to it, you will see that this particular order was falling under a category and in the zone where only 42 rupees was supposed to be deducted, whereas you have been deducted a 67 rupees against it. Hence, a 25 rupees has to be recovered from the marketplace for this particular ID, order ID, where you have been overcharged. We have also in this report populated it with the length, breadth, and height along with the dead weight of the product for you to easily calculate that this particular order ID falls under a small category, and hence if it is shipped between New Delhi and Haryana, the shipping charges should be 42 rupees and not 24 rupees. So on and so forth. Our system automatically calculates what is the supposed to be deductible charge versus what has actually been charged. And this not only is done for shipping scenario, it is also done for commission scenario, for pick and pack scenario, for inventory which is missing and you have not got reimbursement, so on and so forth. We'll obviously talk about it in detail. Before that, I will just like to take an opinion poll from all of you.
The question is, would you want to go for a one-time fee reconciliation leakage value with WinReco? That's our product. There are two answers, yes or no.
So the one-time free reconciliation will give you a value of how much money you have leaked in the last few years of your business. We will give you a sample order IDs against each scenario of the IDs that are affected in any of the scenario. And this is a free one-time onboarding only for the webinar participants.
So now we are ending this poll.
Thank you. So coming back to one more important scenario that our system calculates automatically is the lost in transit, which means the missing inventory. Whenever you ship a product, a customer may return it due to any reason. It may be a damaged, it may not fit correctly, or for any reasons. Now, all you need to do is to check whether the product has come back to your warehouse, or if you are shipping it through FBA, has it actually come back to the FBA or not. There are standard waiting periods, 45 days or 60 days period. And even after that, if the product does not come back, you are eligible for a reimbursement. A lot of times we assume that the reimbursements might have come back, but when we really go and check the payment files, we come across scenarios where we see that a lot of order IDs are not reimbursed. Our file clearly shows you all those order IDs where you're supposed to get a reimbursement after the waiting period is crossed. And if you see under the column of reimbursement, none of it has come back to you. And not only that, you are also in a negative position here. If you see the paid column, you will see negative entries there. So let's say you have sold a product of 20,000 rupees, you have been charged 171, which may be the part of commission during a return and also the reverse shipping fees. Not only that, you also lost a product which is 25,000 bucks. It has not come back to you at all. So overall, you are in a loss of, let's say, 26,000 rupees. All you need to do is use this file and raise a claim to get the money back. However, there are certain SLAs and time windows during which these claims must be raised. If you do not reconcile your payments, and in this scenario especially, then you might lose out on a lot of money. Same way we calculate the commission overcharges. Our system correctly knows what are the commission that was supposed to be charged versus what has actually been charged. All you need to do is use this file, raise a claim. We also have a dedicated dispute management team in case you do not have the bandwidth to raise the claims. Our team raises the claims, does a follow up, and ensures the money comes back directly into your seller account. This is how the reconciliation reports are sent to you on email. As soon as a leakage is identified in your business, our system shoots you an email in the following format. We can talk more about it and help you understand how you are managing your reconciliations right now. You may be a very small business right now, just doing 5 orders or 10 orders, but you need to be very careful that if you are wanting to grow on Amazon, you need to use the systems, or you need to at least start decoding the Amazon settlement file manually. With this, I end this webinar. We are happy to take questions, and we also have Sakshi with us, who will be sharing the presentations to all of you. In case of any queries, feel free to write to us and we'll get back to you at the earliest.
So Sumit, we have certain questions. If you can
Yeah,
answer that under the Q&A.
sure. So Praveen has asked, Amazon doesn't entertain the claim which are more than 3 months old. So Praveen, basically to answer your questions, there are 7 to 8 type of scenarios under which various type of policies are there. So let's say you are having a commission overcharge. So what Amazon says is, from the date of the payment, within 30 days, you have to raise the claims in order to get a commission overcharge reimbursed to you. Same way for shipping overcharge. But in case of a inventory which is lost, even after 45 days, the inventory has not come back to you, then you are eligible for a reimbursement. So you can claim this reimbursement even of 2016 or 2017. That is another matter, that it will not give you the data which is 1.5 years old. However, through our APIs, we are able to fetch the data right from the day that you have been doing the business from. So yes and no, there are various kinds of SLAs against various scenarios which you need to take care of. Sumit Sahani is asking, you also have the software for Flipkart. Yes, Sumit, we also do it for multiple marketplaces, restricting this special webinar for Amazon. But yes, we do it for other marketplaces as well. Venugopal is asking, in settlement summary template, which file I have to copy paste. Venugopal, what you need to do is you just need to download the payment file from the settlements of your Amazon Seller Central. Just copy paste that data into the settlement file summary, and it is very easy for you. What we will do is we will also share you this presentation, and you can go through the links and the files as well. In case you do not know this, you can always write back to us. Mukesh Kumar, how can I get this software? Mukesh, we have taken a note. Our team will reach back to you as soon as possible. Shivangi is asking, can sellers use any other logistic partners to save extra shipping charges? Well, Shivangi, if you are using a FBA mode, it is not possible. If you are using an easy ship mode, it is not possible. However, in terms of if you are doing a self shipment, which is a very, very rare scenario, it is possible for you to use a logistic partners of your own choice. But as far as the flex is concerned or FBA is concerned, it is not possible. Mr. Rawat is asking, how is the rule box configured? So, Mr. Rawat, we have configured the rule box via our APIs. We have put the exact policies of Amazon in our rule boxes in terms of commission, in terms of shipping, and our system checks continuously if there is any change in that policies, and our rule box is updated. So it's a, what you say, it's a program, it's a software which keeps on working 24 hours to see if there are any changes in any of the policies. And it also gives us the fee rates, it gives us the listings, it gives us the LBH, the weight, it gives us all the charges of the order. So basically anything which you can see on Seller Central, all of it we can get through our APIs as well. And it also handles the waiver in the commissions as well, Mr. Rao.
So Sumit, under the Q&A, Mr. Roy is asking, could you please explain how the closing fee are calculated?
So closing fees is calculated on the basis of the selling price, and it is charged on per unit. It also depends on the category of the business that you are in. So 3 pointers there. It is calculated basis the selling price, in basis the category, and on per unit.
And there is another question from Mr. Loya, like, is collectible and paid amount difference is due to tax?
No, the collectible is the supposed to be deducted, supposed to be received charges. So let's say if I'm selling a mobile phone of 10,000 rupees, I might be expecting a payment of 9,000 rupees as per the Kitna Milega calculator that most of you would know. So before even shipping a product, if I want to see that if I sell this product at 10,000 rupees, what will I get as per Amazon's policies? Then I will get back 9,000 rupees. So that is one of the assumption and one of the data point. Now, as soon as the payment file comes, due to any technical glitch or any error, it is possible that you might not have been paid 9,000 rupees. You might have been just paid 8,000 rupees. So all we need to do is we need to raise a claim using our files, and you will get the reimbursement of the balance 1,000 rupees. This is just a scenario of the overcharge. However, in case of a lost in transit, in case of a missing inventory, in case of a replacement order which has been shipped and not reimbursed, there are various other SLAs and calculation methods where you are supposed to get a reimbursement, but you have not got it due to any XYZ reason. So what we do is we match every payment head to head what was supposed to be deducted versus what has actually been deducted. And we are able to do that right from the day Amazon has started business in India. So, Mr.
So there is
Venugopal,
one more.
Mr.
Yeah.
Venugopal, to answer your question, we are also working in commission reconciliations. I will take your feedback and ask my team to reach out to you in the next 24 hours. Thank you for reaching out to us.
There is one more question from Anuja Sumit. She's asking, where are you taking the data to calculate how much we should be paid from Amazon or from our inputs?
So I answered it during the session that we are integrated with Amazon through APIs. We are taking the data automatically through the APIs from the seller central. We are not using any manual files from the seller at all, because we want to make sure that whatever the policies of Amazon are given, has the seller been charged accordingly, or has it been charged more or less. So all we do is we integrate through the APIs. We take the listings, we take the orders, returns, payments, and charges, and then we give them a reconciliation file. So, Mr. Lohia, we will definitely get back to you. I understand that you are very concerned about your business, and after the end of the webinar, I will forward your details to our reconciliation team, and we will help you to get onboarded as soon as possible.
So
Mr. Sani, since we are directly integrated with Amazon, there is no manual intervention at all. I suggest you take the one-time free reconciliation from us and check what has gone wrong with your account, and then you see if you really require a manual reconciliation at all or not. Sakshi, we can continue to take more questions, but it is good if we can float the presentation to them and help them to write all of their queries on our email ID, which is marketing@vinculumgroup.com, and we will make sure that our team responds to you as fast as possible. Because of the
sure,
passage
and
of the time, we'll have to end the session here. And it was amazing to have all the participants, and we look forward to bring more of this series, maybe of Flipkart in the next season.
all right. So thank you so much to all the participants to be a part of this webinar, and we'll definitely send you the presentation and the recording very soon. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.